Hi Year 9, this is obviously a bit of a strange lesson. I'm really missing you, I'm really gutted you can't be back in school, but you made a fantastic start in lessons and I'm sure you're going to do a brilliant couple of weeks of working hard at home. If you want to get your yellow book and put today's date, which is the 24th of September, and put today's title, it's Prime Factor Decomposition. You might want to pause the video and just write that in now. Okay, so I'm going to go through two examples. So the first example, I want you to copy in your blue book and make any notes you need to make in your blue book. And then I want you to pause the video and have a go at the second example, and then you can watch it back and check that you've done it the right way. Okay, obviously it's up to you to pause the video wherever you think it's going to be helpful. If you want to make a note of the first one in your blue book, it's page 7, the number system, which is where most of our notes have been so far. So wherever you've got your first space in the number system. And the first example we're going to do is to write 60 as a product of its prime factors. Now this is called a few different things. Sometimes it's called prime factorisation. Sometimes it's called prime factor decomposition. And sometimes it's called writing numbers as product of their prime factors. But the key thing is you always get those words prime and factors. So we're going to draw a factor tree. You start with your number in the box at the top, and then you need to split it into any factor pair you like of that number. Doesn't matter which factor pair, not one and the number, but any other factor pair. So for 60, I'm going to start with 10 and 6. Now I want prime factors, not just any factors, prime factors. Now 10 and 6 are a great factor pair, but they're not prime factors. So I need to keep breaking them down until they're prime. So 10, I'm going to break down further, and 10 I can break down into 2 and 5. Now 2 is a prime factor, that's one of the ones I want. So to show it's one of the ones I want, I'm going to circle it. 5 is also a prime factor, so again, I'm going to circle it. Then I'm going to go to my 6, and I can break 6 down into 2 and 3. 2, again, is a prime factor, so that's great. And 3 is a prime factor as well, so that's great. So I can circle those ones. So they're the ones I need. That's all the workings I need to do. The last thing I need to do is write my final answer. So 60 equals, and I need to write all my prime factors being multiplied together, and I'm going to write them in order. So 60 equals 2 times 2, let's cross them off as I go, times 3, times 5. And there's my final answer. 60 equals 2 times 2 times 3 times 5. Now we're going to do one more example. Hopefully you've got that one in your blue book. Obviously skip the video back if you need to copy it in. I want you to do this one in your yellow exercise book. So this time I want you to write 84 as a product of its prime factors. So I want you to pause the video here, have a go of doing that in your exercise book, and then come back to the video and see if you did it right. Okay, hopefully you've done that now. So you should have started with 84 in your books. Now there are lots of different ways of doing this that are correct. So some of you might have started with 2 and 42, or some of you might have started with 4 and 21, or some of you might have started with 7 and 12. It doesn't matter what you started with. You can still get to the right answer. I think most of you might have started with 2 and 42. Now I've got a prime factor now. 2 is a prime factor, so I can circle that one. That leaves me 42. That's not prime. I need to break it down more. Now again, you could do 42 into 2 and 21, or 3 and 14. I'm going to do it into 6 and 7. I'm going to look at my factors. Well, 6 isn't prime, so I'm going to have to break that one down more. But 7 is prime, so I can circle that one. Now I'm left with 6. 6 breaks down into 2 and 3, and 2 and 3 are both prime, so I'm going to circle there. I've done my tree. The last thing left is me to write my final answer. 84 equals 2 times 2 times 3 times 7. So if you've got 84 equals 2 times 2 times 3 times 7, give yourself a massive tick. It doesn't matter if your tree was exactly like mine, or if you did your tree in a different order to mine, you've got 2 times 2 times 3 times 7, that's brilliant. And if you want to really show off, sometimes we write our answer in index form. Instead of writing 2 times 2, I can write 2 squared times 3 times 7. Hopefully that all makes sense for you now. You should have spent probably about 10 minutes on this video, some maybe a bit longer and a bit shorter, so that hopefully gives you about half an hour to work through the task. Make sure you mark your answers as you go. Have a lovely day, and I can't wait to do a bit more work with you tomorrow.